The great terrains around the Chernobyl nuclear power plant still have the impact of the worst nuclear accident in history. The background radiation level here is 4 times above the norm. Much of the fallout from the explosion was deposited close to Chernobyl in parts of Belarus, Ukraine and Russia. Over 350,000 people resettled away from these areas. 30-kilometer radius exclusion zone around the damaged reactor was designed for obligatory evacuation of civilians and placed under military control. The local population was offered accommodation in other parts of Ukraine, yet some people, like Maria Petrovna, sneaked back to their homes in the restricted zone. The local administration struggled with the settlers but gave up eventually, registered them and arranged food catering. But 87-year-old Maria Petrovna eats mostly the fruit and vegetables from her kitchen garden.
I was not afraid of radiation when I came back. Now I'm spending my days working in my garden. I grow flowers, potatoes and onions.
The elderly woman assures us that the place is safe and the whole village was evacuated nearly 30 years ago in vain. The radiation detector shows 0.16 microsievert, which is a normal gamma-ray background for most places on Earth. Yet the zone remains dangerous.
The gamma radiation level does not describe the whole complex of problems. This dose fallout meter cannot register the radiation in the soil, water and all the objects which exist on the territory. Especially when we talk about transuranium radionuclides, which do not have any gamma radiation and thus cannot be detected. They are very dangerous when penetrating inside the body.
The radiation level is also within the norm in Chernobyl, the local administrative center. A small hotel, shops and gas stations sit here alongside abandoned neighborhoods. The town hosts around 2,000 commuters who work in the zone. The majority are employed at the new confinement, which should make the blown-up reactor safe for a century at least.
The construction is unique. It's 256 meters wide, 109 meters high and 150 meters long. The whole construction will move 330 meters to reach its home station above the reactor. This technology is meant to reduce workers' exposure to radiation.
The zone with its abandoned towns and enigmatic exclusion is a popular tourist spot. It receives over 5,000 visitors annually, and Ukrainian lawmakers want to open the zone even more to the world.
The zone of alienation will be divided into 2 parts. 10-kilometer radius will remain the alienated industrial area with the nuclear power station and a storage for spent nuclear fuel. The area will be watched over, but it will be more open for scientists than now. We would be able to conduct research how the radiation changed the soils, plants and animals.
The lack of human presence turned the area into a home for rare species. Several near-extinct wild Przewalski's horses were released into the exclusion zone in early 90s. Since then, their population increased up to 100 individuals, and it looks like the area became too cramped for some.
We were taking the child to school and saw Przewalski's horses in a field. It was a unique sight, as these horses never leave the zone. We photographed them and left. In 3 days, they were grazing here in front of my house.
The mayors were unsuccessfully trying to lure Lord, the domestic black stallion, into the woods. After 4 months of wandering around and eating crops of local residents, the wild horses sparked people's anger.
In spring, when Lord was taken back to the field, the mares showed up again in front of my house. We understood that they anchored here for a while and built this enclosure.
Alexander has also anchored on the border with the zone for a while. The man is a native of Pripyat, the ghost town located 2 kilometers away from the damaged reactor. He was forced to leave it at the age of 10 after the accident, but exclusion zone keeps attracting him and prompted him to move from the capital closer to it. Now he is campaigning for Pripyat to be recognized as a museum and to be preserved for the future generations as a memory about costs of the nuclear disaster. Len Savchuk for Reporters Foil, Chernobyl exclusion zone, northern Ukraine.